So how bad was this joke?
It was bad.
They're pretty.
Welcome, everybody, to another All Hallows Eve production from DFPN. We're going to be talking about zombies tonight. Everybody ready for some zombies?
Always.
Let me introduce everyone. We have Mac, aka your boy, from Eat the Cake Anime over there in the top right, and Smoke Pit, one of the DFPN godfathers. He'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Down in the bottom left.
That's one of your
bottom left. That was weird. I know. That's dad joke one. Down in the bottom left, we have USDN's CEO and chairman. We've got Jeffy Jeff there, and our bestie from the past that we've kept in touch with. It's Chris Lovelady, another sci-fi horror entrepreneur extraordinaire that I
Nice way of putting it.
with, right?
Like it.
Swap movies and stuff with. Encourage me to restart my Shutter streaming service.
I'm sorry.
Shuttercom.com. I'm not sad.
I'm sorry.
Restart your what?
Shutter. The Shutter streaming.
It's a streaming service. All horror slash stuff.
You like blood and guts? It's there.
It's mine.
Good and bad.
The bad ones are always the best.
I agree.
Yeah, that's why I like horror, because either it's scary or it's funny. So you can't go wrong.
That's true. There's really no middle ground.
So, hey, Willie.
Yeah.
Do you know what the zombie got for showing up late to the party? A cold shoulder.
Here they go, Jeff. Here they go, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
Do you know why zombies are never arrested?
I don't.
Because they can never be taken alive.
For fuck's sake. I love it. That is
like they're so bad you can't not laugh at them.
Wait, one more. Hey, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, this isn't a zombie joke, but still good. Do you know what?
You're gonna go completely off script for the new guy. I like it.
Do you know what the girlfriend ghost said to the boyfriend ghost?
What?
You're my boo.
Oh, Jesus. Really? That had to be...
Ooh.
I'm so glad you cut when you did.
There was a stream of dad obscenities coming that I don't think would have been appropriate.
That was a mic drop moment. So I was like, my job.
Hey, Jen.
Oh, yes.
You know what the zombie said to the prostitute?
What?
Keep the tip. Cheers.
I knew that was coming. I had to mute before.
I love you, Chris. All right. Shots. I will be drinking some whipped vodka vanilla goodness tonight. Willie, what you got? What you shooting?
Crown apple.
Ooh.
Fighting bears
Chris,
over
what
here.
you got?
So I have got a little Woodford Reserve, and coincidentally, this is a batch number 6667. Proof.
Oh, you didn't have to add the 7 on there.
Yeah.
Well, I figure that's because we're talking about Halloween, but I'm chatting with you angels. So
I'm sorry, there was an angel? Where?
not you. I don't even know you. So
Okay.
really,
You ain't missing nothing. You are not missing nothing. Since the doctor won't let me do coffee intravenously, I am drinking it out of a mug.
I like it.
Nice.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, Jen,
right.
you're a nurse. Can I do coffee intravenously?
No.
I mean,
all right. Couldn't hurt to ask.
All right.
Hasn't said you can't.
Cheers to everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight in this awesome spooky season.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's so smooth. It's so smooth. Okay. So, zombies. So, this, just to give you a little insight to the origins, zombies, the term zombies comes from the Haitian folklore, defined as a mythological undead corporeal revenant created through the reanimation of a corpse through various methods. I know, duh, right? However, the most common methods are magical practices through religions like voodoo. I get a chill up my spine even mentioning voodoo, so I'm just going to keep going. All right. There are also modern media depictions of science fiction, such as fungi, radiation, gases, diseases, plants, bacteria, and viruses. Lots of ways to create zombies. Interesting. So, to start off, Mac, you said you had some anime zombie stuff you want to
I have a kind of across the board, a little, drama when it comes to zombies, a little humor when it comes to zombies, a little fantasy, a little bit of everything. The biggest thing that I do want to say is, however, there are a plethora of about like 20 something zombie centric anime. Most of them are about kind of the sappy side of it. There's one where a young lady dies, comes back to life as a zombie, and she joins a zombie singing group in order to save the world. I'm just like, lame. Maybe it's one of the best anime out there, but
my daughter collects that one.
Oh, see, he knows what I'm talking about. I'm just like, I read the premise and I'm just like, bro, that had to be a super slow day for me to just tune into that shit. But
she likes that one.
But I'm gonna start with probably one of the better ones that I've watched. Unfortunately, it only has one season out back in 2023. It's called Zom 100. I know it's on Crunchyroll. It may be on Netflix. I haven't checked. A lot of this stuff I know is from Crunchyroll and Funimation and stuff. But I want to bring it up because while I'm talking about them, I'll just play their little trailers and whatnot. They're about a minute each. So I want to make sure I have the right one up. Add it to stage. And then, oh, look, see, it all works. We all get slammed to the side perfectly. But
side,
so to speak.
Oh, okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been out of one Charlie 5 life for a minute. But so this one here is Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. The reason I like this one is I'm not saying we've all been there, but you've been in your job. You get a little bit of Groundhog Day, day-to-day stuff. Feels kind of dead end. Right. So the main character here, Akira, is a 24-year-old office worker. He works for a company that is exploits a lot of their customers. So he feels he's at a dead-end job. And then one day there's a zombie outbreak, which of course kind of, throws everything awry. Society collapses and stuff. Everybody's upset and scared. He, on the other hand, is excited because his job is no longer there, and now he can kind of just do what he wants. Right? Out here living his best life.
Living the dream.
Yeah, being able to knock things off his bucket list with a few of his friends. One's a stand-up comedian. The other one, is a woman who just got out of an abusive
I
relationship.
don't know about you guys, so I would love that.
So it's called Zom 100. Like I said, it's
Mhm.
over there on Crunchyroll if you have Crunchyroll. So make sure to check that out if that is something that interests you. We also have stop sharing this screen. One that is more dramatic. It is called a Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. This one has kind of been compared to, I would say, Attack on Titan, regarding kind of like the seriousness, I guess, or the overall plot.
Mhm.
So I'll wait to bring this up. So
Ooh, I
Cabaneri
like
of
the
the
art.
uh,
Ooh.
so this happens kind of like in a industrial revolution in a fictional Japan, but during the revolution, a virus appears and transforms infected humans into what they call a kabane. So it translates into corpse, and it rapidly spreads. So kabane, they're like zombies, they're undead, but their weakness is you have to pierce their heart, but their heart is encased in like an iron cage. So you need a weapon that can penetrate that. So at the time, humans have melee weapons and
Okay.
steam powered weapons, but they can't produce enough force to crack that cage. But the main character, I believe, I forget his name, but he's an inventor and he invents a weapon that can produce enough force to kill it. And you see it right here. He captured one and was testing on it. But while he was testing on it, it bites him. So he was about to turn into one. He stops the spread by placing a collar on his neck. So he's like half zombie, half human. So he's that hybrid that, has the weapon fused to his arm so he can
Oh.
take things. So the grand thing, they're just trying to get everybody to safety. They have these railways that they use to transport goods that are iron enforced. So they are trying to escort their village and the majority of the people around to safety. So that is a Carbonari of the Iron Fortress, which is also what's that?
Yeah. I was like, actually, when you were playing that, I was like, oh shit, I've seen that. Like, I forgot about that. That's awesome.
Eric
That's
said it,
great.
he's seen it. So you've probably seen it while Eric was watching it.
Yeah.
Yes, he chimes in.
gotcha.
It's over on Amazon Prime, I believe. So if you want to check now, this one, I try to tell people, High School of the Dead is drawn as a fan service. There's a lot of fan service in this one. I'm wondering why it's not showing up on the screen.
This one I haven't seen.
Okay. But it is when it comes to the zombies and the death that they bring, it's pretty cool. Like there's gore, there's all that good stuff that we love to see when we talk about our zombies, right? Let me make sure I make this full screen so everybody can see. Cool. However, there's a lot of fan service. By that meaning, it's a lot of boobs, a lot of ads, a lot of this stuff, right?
Hell yeah!
So a lot of people be like, "Oh, this is just whatever." But if you look at it and you pay attention to the story, it's a good zombie movie. It's obviously you see high school students, a pandemic breaks out, and you have these kids trying to survive, trying to find places to stay that are safe, trying to find society outside of the zombies in their area there. But of course, as they're traveling from neighborhood to neighborhood, societal collapse is happening. So you run into, it's kind of like Walking Dead. Like you come across people and you're like, oh, you're not a zombie, but they're probably more dangerous than the zombies because they are doing whatever it takes for them to make it to the next day, right? So
fan service.
Yep. Oh, bro, there's one scene where it's like the most famous fan service scene. Some dude is sniping a zombie from like the other side of town, and as he's sniping it, the woman is like slicing a zombie with a sword and it's like doing a move, and her boobs are like moving like this, and the bullet goes in between the
It could happen.
and hits the zombie. You could Google, like, if you Google High School of the Dead, Google will be like, oh, High School of the Dead sniper shot. That's all you need to know.
She's
I'm
got like
making
ninja
notes.
boots.
I'm making notes
sure
as we
was.
speak.
You're not alone.
I'm
I'm
sure you
spending my
watched.
evening looking up High School of the Dead.
Yeah, High School of the Dead sniper shot. What are you talking about, Google? Google's like,
This
oh,
one?
are you alone?
This is what you're here for.
This is what you're here. Say less.
Would you like to see more like
Oh,
this?
there you go.
Yes.
Yes,
Would you like to see more like
yes, I would.
The booty,
Booby
the
bullet
bullet
limbo? Yes.
limbo.
This next
There
one
you
is
go.
called
The boot.
School Live, right?
Wait.
So School Live, this one is kind of a weird one because it starts out, and you'll see in the trailer like a you look at it, you're like, oh, this is like a slice of life, you know, up and coming, cute girl. They're living their life and everything. It's a fun time.
Right.
So the main character, Yuki, which you see here, is in this school. She says she's a member of the school living club where they learn how to garden and all this stuff and little small you know, things in life that can help you succeed. But in reality, they are living in a zombie apocalypse. But all of her friends are doing, see, this is the reality they're living in. Zombies are around. But the main character is so delusional. You see some of the show through her eyes, which is this happy-go-lucky world where everything is fine. And then it'll switch to the reality where her friends are like doing crazy stuff, killing people and stuff just to keep their group together. So it's a not a mind fuck, but when you're watching it, you're like, this is a weird spin on a, you know, zombie centric anime. So I like it. This one is not on Crunchyroll. I had to watch this on what you call it, High Dive, which is another anime service that snuck up on me with the yearly thing, and I got notified by PayPal, like, yeah, you paid $60 for another year of High Dive. I'm like, shit, I forgot to cancel that thing. So
What is that?
I'm making the most of my $60. So there's other anime on there that High Dive has. And the last anime I want to bring up to you guys is have you guys heard of the movie series Train to Busan?
Yes.
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 Pretty good flick, right?
100%.
Did you know there was
Absolutely.
The other day.
there is a prequel to Train to Busan,
Shut
animated
up. Are you
style.
serious?
It's called Soul Station.
I have no.
It's on Shudder.
No.
You shut your mouth.
I'm taking
Why am I
notes.
just learning about this?
I'm being
Why do
schooled.
I not know about this yet?
Need
So
to
we
watch.
We were literally just
Immediately
talking about
on
that.
watch list.
We were.
Yeah, we were. Before you came
So-
on.
So I mean, yeah, it's pretty much setting up. You kind of see how the spread starts. You don't see the initial one. You just see the I guess what you would call patient zero come into the station, bite on his neck, bleeding. They run to go try to get him help. They come back. The dude's gone. Of course, he's a zombie now. And then the zombie stuff starts to ensue. So, but like I said, it is a well done. If you've watched Train to Busan, this is just icing on the cake, kind of give you more into the lore of what it of the zombie genre that they have going on over there. But like I said, I think it used to be on Netflix, but I think when I last looked at it, doing the research to find out what it's streaming on, I think it just said it was on Shudder. So if you have it, cool. If not, I don't know if they do like a free month trial or something, but if you are
absolutely.
the Train to Busan, you got to get in here and watch this one. But that's pretty much the 5 that I have that I'm recommending to people to check out. If you are into the zombie parties and stuff like that, feel free to check them out. High School of the Dead, don't watch that with your kids, is all I'm gonna say. So
No.
unless they're of age.
I was gonna say mine's an adult
Even
now.
then,
So,
that's an
Unless they're
awkward
of
party.
age. You know, and your kids are just like, Dad, what's that? No, you'll find out about that later, son. You know.
I mean, if
But
we're
that's all
thinking
I
about it, I got some comic book recommendations if people want it.
What you got?
Sure.
So we got the DC versus zombies.
Mhm.
That was a really, really good run. And then also you can reverse that with the DC the zombies versus Marvel. Also another really, really good series. And if you want something a little bit more adult oriented, but also just completely absurdly hilarious and zombie related, it's a book called Zombie Tramp. And it's exactly what it is. But it's hilarious. It's really is just a hilarious. Like you read it and you're like, I am now dumber for reading this, but it was like, I want to read another issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Like the story is so.
I gotta know
Yeah.
the 3-sentence synopsis of Zombie
Yes,
Tramp.
please.
I'll have to look it up again. I haven't read it
No,
in
no,
so
no,
long
no,
because
no.
it's so old.
Just your memory.
But
3
but
sentences.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is this
No
about?
worries.
it's exactly what it is. There's zombies and they're tramps and they're hookers and yeah,
Keep the tip, Jen.
E-
See, I knew this was
exactly. Keep the tip.
It's like
Just the tip.
coming. I'm gonna have to check
That's a-
that out just out of curiosity now.
Yeah, you
sounds
can
like that's
Google
up there with
it.
Zombievers.
Listen,
But
don't shit
people-
on zombies.
Because they do
Don't
have
put on zombie
explicit
verse.
covers, these covers will sell for 30, 40, 50 bucks.
No kidding.
So they are not cheap by any means of the stretch of the word here, but people they're into it and they buy the shit out of it.
Was it an independent publisher?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
Oh, that would
Um,
have to be independent.
Yeah,
That's true. I don't think Marvel's gonna put that out.
that'll do it.
Although I think they
Yes,
did do the
so.
Pro back in the early 2000s. So.
Hey, EJ, to answer your question, Wolverine and Sabretooth, neither one were immune to the zombie apocalypse in
Weird.
Marvel versus zombies.
Bird. We did have somebody sneak on. You have Bread Like a King. Black's Kelvin Kately in the top right snuck on while we were going over our awesome anime zombie stuff. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Glad you're here with us, bro.
What up?
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Since we're on the vein of Train to Busan, that was actually one of the movies that I wanted to watch that came out in 2016. Probably some of the zombie movies that I more lean towards are the funny ones, but that was a more serious one that I really, really enjoyed. Just I don't know how it amazes me how you will have like foreign films that do a way better job than what we as Americans do. Hands down, that was probably one of the best zombie movies I'd seen in a long, long time. Probably since and I'll talk about it later, since for me, Dawn of the Dead was one of my favorite ones. But yeah, like Train to Busan was absolutely just an amazing show. I loved how it almost it had like a serious tone like the whole time. And I loved how it kind of like incorporated a lot of family stuff. And you have like this dad who wasn't he's kind of like almost estranged from his like her father. Like he didn't even like remember like buying her like this game system. She's like, Dad, you already got this for me. He couldn't even remember this stuff. So I loved how he kind of stepped up and protected her. And it was just like all around like a badass movie. Like the CGI was amazing. I loved it. So Chris, Train to Busan, what are your thoughts?
So I loved it. My perspective might be a little skewed as a father, but anything that deals with the relationship between a parent and a kid is something that drags me through the mud.
Absolutely.
Good or bad, I feel it, right? And Train to Busan was one, which is actually true of a lot of specifically Korean films, horror films over the last decade and a half. They've just nailed the relationship between parent and child. It's just
amazing.
So good.
I want to say a lot of the
crying, "Don't leave me," and him, doing what he has to do. I don't get teary eyed for much, but that and Old Yeller pretty much get me every time.
That was the only ones. Not even where the red fern grows. The red fern grows.
Whoa.
him in the
Hey,
first
Red Badge
half.
Courage.
Oh,
We're not gonna.
don't do that.
We don't need to go down that road. We don't need to go down that road.
Yeah,
Red
You've
Dead
already
Redemption
got a.
second grade.
You've
I'm
already
just-
got a bearded, capped white dude that looks like an ultimate interpreter on the podcast. I don't think we need to go that far. But yeah, that shit tears me up every time it's on screen. So
Mm-hmm.
You were saying something, Jeff?
Love it. Willie, what did you think about it? Oh, yeah.
I was going to say a lot of those zombie effects were not CGI. They were practical in that movie.
Yeah. And I think that
Amazing.
Jenn, we were talking about that for werewolves. Like for a lot of these things, is CGI going to have to come into play? Yes, but there's a sweet spot to how much you want to use, and then being able to just take that time. And we talked about it. Like in the prosthetic, the practical stuff, the mask and all that stuff, the makeup, because we were talking about the transformation scene, American Werewolf from London, and how long that probably took. Because like in 2 seconds of the transformation, he's in the early stages of changing, and then 5 seconds later, he's a bit further. But in real time, this dude would have to shoot that scene with half the makeup on, go sit back in the chair, get more of it put on, come back in front of the camera and pick up where he left off in the agony and stuff, and then stop and go put more. You know what I'm saying? So the time
That's so grueling. Can you
sit back, it's like the time it took for this 2-minute scene is probably longer than somebody's day at work. Yeah. Like this shit is ridiculous. But
for anybody that's not a movie fan, the best way to look at that is go back and watch the Thriller music video. Same makeup artist, right? Did those effects. So if you watch the Thriller transformation scene frame by frame and then multiply that by like 12, that's what American Werewolf in London was, which is just impressive as hell, especially considering the time that
1981.
Yeah.
Good
and
God,
we were joking when the Academy Awards came by. I don't know if somebody watched it, but the best makeup was not a category until 1982 when that movie was eligible. So I don't know if somebody saw that shit, was like, obviously this can't win best picture, but
right. However,
we got to get
it. That was a great era for horror and makeup. I mean, you look at the Thing, Thriller, American Werewolf in London. It's insane that they weren't getting credit before that.
Yeah. But no, I am a fan of Train to Busan, and like Chris, like when it comes to a dad doing something to protect his family, I am John Q. I was in the theaters.
Oh God, I love that movie.
I don't want to talk about John Q. I don't want to talk.
Bubble snot, all of that.
Such a good movie.
Yep.
Highly
I forget
underrated.
what I was just watching. I was just watching another show where like the dad was just doing whatever it took, like would give his life to save the kid, and it was like 11:30 at night. I don't even know the show. I was like choking up a little bit.
Yep.
I was just like, man,
cutting onions in here.
Yeah, but like Jeff said, man, when you and we talked about last week, you just got it. It's just a special place in my heart for studios and directors and just movie makers as a whole that are willing to take that time to sit there and do the practical makeup, do all of that stuff, film it right, and it just one ups it in my book, because you can be World War Z and throw CGI zombies, which like I liked World War Z. I'm not a fan of the ending, but I never read the book, so don't come at me.
It had two endings.
The threat of the zombies in Train to Busan, I'm just like, I have to feel like, bro, you guys are a threat, because you watch Walking Dead. I'm just like, you just don't have to get surrounded by them. They're just walking all slow, and Train to Busan and stuff, like you're in a small compacted area, zombies are in there, like it heightens it a bit for me. So that's I don't know what it is about Koreans, but they be making some good like horror movies and stuff, man. And they got a couple of zombie series on Netflix that are fucking amazing. So
they do. Black, what'd you think about it?
I'm gonna piggyback on what Chris and Max said, and I want to add too that this was different. This type of movie was different. It's a zombie movie that felt like natural disaster-ish. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was inevitable. Like it was gonna happen. You know
Yeah,
what
it
I mean?
happened fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was gonna happen. No matter what you do, no matter how you prepared, it was coming, and there was very little you could do to stop it. That added the element of realism that I didn't expect watching that movie. And aside from the father daughter thing, and like how the arc of one guy goes from kind of self-absorbed into himself to sacrificing himself at the end, like stuff like that. It's like you can't help but say that to me, it's a perfect zombie movie. It's almost a perfect horror movie because of the emotions that it brings out of you. But on top of it being the zombie movie, it probably is my favorite zombie movie.
Ooh.
I think it's to piggyback on what you said, I definitely think that having those different elements is like Eric was pointing out, like you have a baseball player that lost all of his friends, and you have like the elderly sisters that are trying to like protect each other, and you have like the father trying to protect his daughter, you have the man trying to protect his pregnant wife, you have like all these things that speak to so many different people in every like kind of period in your life that you can kind of connect with. And to me, it kind of brings like this different kind of realism to the story. And I wholeheartedly agree with all of you. Like the Koreans nailed it. Like to me, this was like one of the
Yeah, they
perfect
did.
zombie movies. What's
Do
up,
you know
Jeff?
what you didn't see in that movie because it was shot in Korean?
What's up?
What's that?
Guns.
Oh, true.
Yep.
Very
story.
The
true.
only people you ever see with guns in that was a police officers
Mhm.
and the military.
Yep.
So they kept it very real and
Yeah.
very
Very true. That's true.
Very
I didn't
very
even think about that.
like
Very
this
true.
could happen in Korea, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. Is I was in Korea when it come out, so I went to the theater to watch it,
Mm.
Yeah.
and it was a different vibe and a different feel the entire movie because I'm like, damn, I was just
Right.
in Busan like 2 weeks ago, and
So how did the
Yeah.
Korean audience react to it?
Not going there.
Yeah. Right.
I was fishing in a bass tournament down there, but you could tell like it felt very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
it gave you all that, and they were like,
Mhm.
"Oh damn! Like, is Busan the safest place? Is what about this place? What about the military? What
Mhm.
And they were like seriously questioning all that stuff. So
Yeah.
to me, top tier. I love this movie.
Another one that Apple McCoy brought up, if you like Train to Busan, you will like Kingdom
Yeah.
2. So
Yeah.
this is not a show that I actually watched. Eric actually watched it and gave it rave reviews.
It's fire.
It's
I'm not gonna lie. It's fire.
that's what he said. Like I haven't had time to watch it.
This is
It's
the one about the
yeah,
animals, right?
awesome.
No, so the premise of this
Mhm.
show is the emperor ends up dying, right? So but nobody
Mhm.
really knows it that the emperor is a zombie. So they have him like
Oh, okay,
locked up
okay.
and
That
nations are
sucks.
going to war and nobody's really understanding why people are
Mm.
coming back from the
Gotcha.
dead.
Okay.
Mm.
And it's like every situation where they get into a battle and people die, by that night they end up turning into zombies. This, I'm not gonna lie, it's a
Oh
very, very good show. I forgot about
no,
this
Yeah.
show, but it's
I
Looks like a
did.
Netflix
very, very
original
good
too,
show.
yeah.
I did watch
Yeah.
that with the wife when it came out. Actually,
I
8.3
don't
out of
think I
10.
finished
That's
that, but
impressive for IMDb.
it's
That
a
is
really
impressive.
good show. Yeah, it's a really good show because on one hand you have kingdoms that are actually at war
Mhm.
and don't like each other, and everyone's trying to be the emperor or at least get to the emperor so they can
Mhm.
get the balance of power on their side. But on the other end,
Mhm.
it's like the more you kill people, the more the threat becomes the zombies. So It's like, what do you really want in the end? It's a very, very good show. Very good show.
Cool. And Eric Johnson saying that the Emperor's infected and they keep him alive by feeding people to the Emperor. So
Yes.
yeah, sounds like
that's
tell you, man. The Koreans got it down. They got it down. They had another kind of like, it's not really zombies, it's more like monsters, but they have a couple of other like TV shows that are really good.
Parasite.
So yeah,
Parasite.
yeah.
was amazing.
So
Sweet
if anybody's
Sweet
kind of on the
Home.
fence about reading subtitles, you need to get over that shit because you're missing some really good.
Parasite
Yeah.
the Gray.
It-
Parasite the Gray, another one.
Yeah.
The Host
sounds-
is the one that I would foot
Yeah.
stomp.
The Host.
If you get a chance to watch The Host and you like family drama, that's the way
Yeah.
to go.
Yep.
It is so
You guys-
good.
Yeah.
You guys got to get over the. If anybody's on it, get over the subs and dubs, dude. You got to
Just
watch
watch it
that
twice.
stuff. It's
How many
good.
times have you watched Grey's Anatomy? Just watch this shit twice. Once to read it and once to watch it. You'll love it.
I've never watched Grey's Anatomy, so
Neither have I, but that seems to be what everybody likes, so that's what I tend to lean
Yeah,
on.
yeah. You're not
my
missing
subtitles
much.
stay on anyway.
You're not missing much.
Like literally,
Dude,
my subtitles
it's
are
like-
always on.
Yes.
Yep.
I have
It's
children.
like,
I have to have
it's-
subtitles.
It's a nightly
No
occurrence
kidding.
in my
Going on.
residence. So
Bro, Grey's Anatomy is like on season 20. They're like on Simpsons type seasons,
Yeah.
bro.
Didn't they just
Dude,
bring it back
yes.
too for like another?
Yeah, they brought it back.
25
Yeah.
seasons
Something.
or some random crap.
Yeah, it's back on
Yeah.
TV live.
That'll be a
Or
zombie
this
movie by
season.
the time they're done with it because they're gonna have to bring all the
Yeah.
damn actors.
We will be zombies before.
That's the next arc.
That's it.
They're like, trying to use surgery.
Whatever that hospital
Doctor-
is, is going to be the bastion with Seattle.
Come back from the dead.
Seattle just has a zombie outbreak, and they're just in there trying to.
they
come
might
up
as
with
well
a
go
cure.
there. You might as well. They've done
While they
everything
smash
else.
in the closet. 'Cause
Man.
That's what they do.
Oh,
My heart is bleeding out. Well, let me get this quickie
Dude.
real quick. I'll come and patch you up.
to the closet.
it'll be fine. Let me
Jesus.
put this in that hole. We'll stop the bleeding.
To the closet.
Apply pressure. Apply pressure.
Zombie surgery.
Sorry,
Zombie
I'm gonna
surgery. You
derail
don't have
this
any
entire
trial.
thing. I apologize. Let's
No, you're fine. All right. So the next movie I wanted to talk about was Dawn of the Dead 2004, starring Sarah Polley, Vig Rhames, and Mekhi Phifer, just to name a few. I actually went to the theaters while I was in WD school. Was I in WD school? I don't know. I was in some sort of place watching this. I'm like, wait, was I in WD school in 2004?
Why
I
didn't you
can't
know
fucking
work
remember.
on?
Yeah, something. I have to say that and until recent, that was probably one of my top favorite zombie movies. I mean, it was just like off the cuff. It was like high adrenaline, people running, there's zombies trying to attack you, and people are holding down the mall. It doesn't since we were talking about Train to Busan, I guess I'm going to compare everything to that really. Having they had some human element in it. I think the one that hits the most is when Mekhi Phifer's wife gives birth, and she gives birth to like the zombie baby. Dude, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
like I cried.
Mhm.
That was like absolutely heartbreaking in that movie. I'll just jump to the gun already. Willie,
Yes.
Dawn of the Dead. What's your take on it?
Me and Apple saw this in theaters, and I will say, like,
Mhm.
that is probably one of the most visceral openings to a zombie movie. Like the
Hands down.
the door opens
Dude,
up,
she's like,
and then the daughter
running.
just fucking just. I was like, hey, like this. It was one of them those scenes where that happens, and then somebody wakes up out of a dream, like, but they didn't wake
Yes.
up. It was like, I was like, oh, this is legit going down. Oh, okay. Shit, man, ain't even had no
happening?
breakfast yet. And now he's like, shit, my daughter's a zombie out here. Like, can I get my coffee first before trying to figure out the fuck's going on? Nope.
Okay. I need my coffee.
That would be the worst time for a zombie apocalypse to strike. I'm just like, what the fuck? Let me get my other foot out the bed first. What the fuck is happening here? Can I put my shoes on? Like, you catch me in my most vulnerable moment here.
Stand by.
But
Give me a
No, like I like again, it's one of those where obviously you're outnumbered, you're in this mall, you look around the mall just to see a zombies. It's like if you step outside of this place, you're gone. The fact that they're trying to maintain some sense of normalcy, everybody kind of knew what was going on. If she was to give birth, like, bro, there's a chance that about to be a zombie baby out here, and like it's almost no, not quite Walking Dead, but it's just like it's one of them predicaments where even though you're just like, I can't just not allow her to give. I gotta see it with my own eyes type thing. So I'm not a big Mekhi Phifer fan. I think he's in the realm of like some of the worst actors to ever grace our screen. How he got this part, I don't know, but he's in there with Anthony Mackie and Omar.
I was gonna say
Epps.
Anthony Mackie's around.
Like they're all in that same category. But look, EJ's like Anthony Mackie level. I don't know, but I would say that's probably up until Train to Busan was the peak of zombie movies for me. And like I like 28 Days Later, but as far as like I need to feel like zombies are an actual threat to me. Like if they're like I'm just like, oh my god, get out of here, Just give them a little shimmy, then with a Euro step and they fall over, I need these motherfuckers to be sprinting after me like, oh shit. So
it definitely makes a difference when they like run at you versus like the slow walk. Yeah, that definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, but until Train to Busan came along, I would say that's probably the movie that had the zombies where I'm like, I'm not fucking with them.
All right, Chris.
So Dawn of the Dead for me is my favorite zombie movie ever. And it's specifically because of the first 10 minutes.
Yes, that solidified it.
Setting aside the fact that, one, where the hell did she get those keys? And two, how close are you with your neighbors that their 8-year-old can be in your bedroom at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're just cool with it? Like, hey, LP, what are you doing?
Right.
It was amazing. And one of the things that a lot of people don't remember is like they showed the first 10 to 12 minutes of this movie on network TV, uncensored, for the first time ever. So when I first heard about this movie, I was watching like hell, I don't know, Wonderful World at Disney or some shit on Sunday. And then it skipped from Ariel to this little girl chewing some dude's face off. And I was like, holy shit, what is this? Right?
NBC, what are you doing?
Oh my god!
Right.
Oh,
like, what the hell happened to Ariel? I want to know what happened with her. And then suddenly, but to me, this is by far the best horror movie ever made. As much as I love Train to Busan and some of the new ones that come out. And really, you've got this superstar lineup of people involved, right? So, I mean, everybody knows that Zack Snyder directed it. But controversy aside, the writers of this movie were George A. Romero, the godfather of zombies in modern Hollywood.
Yep.
And James Gunn, the guy that brought us Guardians of the Galaxy and all of the other amazing stuff that he's done. And people overlook that.
Didn't know that either.
Absolutely. Yeah. Both of George A. Romero and James Gunn are the credited writers of this movie, but Zack Snyder actually providing the direction. And as much as people want to sit there and say that, like Zack Snyder is this guy that only works in visuals, I think Dawn of the Dead was the first and possibly, I'm going to piss a lot of DC fans off when I say this, but possibly the only time that I have ever seen him direct a movie that had a human element to it, right? You felt what was going on in Dawn of the Dead, as opposed to, say, a Justice League or, God help us, a Sucker Punch, right? Where it's beautiful, but it don't mean shit.
I fuck with Sucker Punch.
We all fuck with that movie.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
It's a horrible movie. Fan service.
Oh, 1000%.
All we have to say is fan service. Yeah.
Man, Oscar Isaac, man. Oscar Isaac up in there.
We all know he didn't make the movie, though.
No.
Jeff, what do you think?
So this movie come out while I was in Korea the first time. So I didn't see this
Okay.
until I came back years later.
Mm.
And honestly, the first time I seen it, I wasn't that big of a fan until I had got my hands on like I actually got to watch the original like with the baby and stuff.
Mhm.
And that's when I
Okay.
was like, oh, like damn, this is what I missed in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Right.
And that's when I was like, okay, yeah, it's up there for me. Granted, it still is that not that Snyder film. And now that I know that, I hate it.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I should have kept my mouth shut. Jeff.
he's
I
like,
apologize.
now it fell down my power rankings.
It
Yeah,
did.
now it's
It
like
did.
they're
Instant
I'm
impact.
behind
instant.
Lisa Frankenstein.
Ooh, yeah. No, maybe just above. Actually, you know what? They may be tied.
Fair enough.
It's probably a tie.
Oh my god.
I'm a Zack
Sorry.
Snyder hater.
I am too.
Black
I don't like it.
Black, what do you think?
I am also a Zack Snyder hater, but I love this movie. I'm not going. He snuck this one in on me.
Chris, what'd you do?
He did. He snuck this one in on me. But the first 10 minutes does make this movie for me. It does. It does.
It
And
does.
it's also
Yeah.
one of those movies to where at that point in time, zombies were pretty dumb. You know what I mean? They
Mhm.
walk, brains, the norm. And this was one of those movies, the first time I actually was like, oh, these motherfuckers can run?
They
Oh,
fat.
They're
yeah.
coming for you.
Oh, yeah, you done. I like this. It's right up my alley. But I like the movies to where there is a more human element to the zombie because hello, they are human. Like I Am Legend, not really a great movie, but the zombies have some type of intellect and they can communicate, they can figure
The
things
alternate ending of
Yep.
that movie is better than the original ending.
Agreed.
Yes,
Right.
it is. By a long
but
shot.
movies like that, I like it. And this was no different for me. It was the first time that I was like, oh, they don't just walk and they don't just wait for you to trip and fall. Like they're gonna come find you and they're gonna come after you. I like that. I like that element of the movie.
Mhm.
Agreed.
And really, if we're being
Um,
honest, any horror movie with Ving Rhames involved, I'm in.
Yes.
Piranha, Double D. Like it's just if Ving Rhames is in it and it's scary, I'm gonna watch it. Like I just
The
I
Reeves
love
in
the
it.
dude.
Watching it.
Yeah.
He is, I mean, as much
I'm
as I like
tired,
Michael Clark
boss.
Duncan, God rest his soul. Ving Rhames is my dude. Like he's never been bad in a movie. I'll put it that way. He's been in some bad shit, but he's never been bad. So
His acting's always I get it. Yeah, I agree.
Alexis like,
Um, so 28 days later, came out in 2003. We have a awesome cast of Cillian Murphy plays our main protagonist. Then you have Naomi Harris. If you guys don't remember her, she played Calypso in Pirates of the Caribbean. And then you also have Brendan Gleeson. If anybody's a Harry Potter fan, he played Mad Eye Moody.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching this movie and I was like, Mo, and what you guys have already said, these motherfuckers can run. So this is called a rage virus that went and infected people actually quite impressively. If you remember, Brendan Gleeson's character had just like a drop of blood like drop into his eye and he changes like within like 20,
my
30
favorite scene in that
seconds.
movie.
yep.
Same. It was crazy. These quote unquote zombies fucking fled full on like Olympic sprinting at you. And I have to agree. I can't remember who was touching on it, but it adds an element of suspense, I feel like, to the movie when the zombies are merely kind of walking at you going brains versus them full on running at you looking at like you are like steak tartare. Yes, Definitely terrifying. I absolutely love this movie. It's one of those ones where if it's on TV, I'm gonna fucking sit down and watch it all the way through. Love it. Willie, what was your take on 28 Days Later?
The same thing. Like I said, any movie where the zombies are like a super threat, to where I'm not sitting in the movies like, how did you let the zombies get you? Like, just fucking a
Right.
spin move, got you, broken
Yeah.
ankle, literally, they just yeah, like I get it, like the slow mobs, like, brain dead, they're just off instinct and stuff. But when you add the aspect of now they're like predators, they are looking for prey. That is what ups the ante for me. I think the cause, like you said, the rage virus, like how fast it gets you to fucking go from human to fucking zombie. That brought an aspect to it, because you're just like, bro, get away from all of this shit. The slightest, there was no chance of like, you get this on you and there's a chance to save you type stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
like,
There's
bro,
no cure. You're done.
it's not like most zombie movies where you're like, oh, he bit you, you're gonna turn. It's like, shit, you're fucked. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
you
got
got
10
bit,
seconds.
you gotta go, like, pow. Like, unless you got the cure in your pocket, you gotta go, pow. Because I'm not about to have you sprint after me 5 seconds from now. So, that it was an amazing movie. 28 weeks later, I don't know if we're talking about that, but
Mid.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
it's the one where it falls into the sequel's not better than the original.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'll just leave it at that. 28 days later, must watch. 28 weeks later, if you have time.
Yeah. Oh. Chris, thoughts?
So I agree with Willie. This is very much a you don't have to see it, but you probably should. It is very, very good. 28 weeks later, higher production value, not as good a movie, in my opinion. It looks sleeker, but it's just not as good at the heart of it. And that's
Hawkeye was mid. That's because Hawkeye ruined it.
Bingo. Bingo. Yeah.
It was made 22 years ago, and it's still holds up.
Jesus Christ! I don't need you to say stuff like that. Well,
no, I'm gonna say it. We're all the same. We're all in that group, man. 40 and up, baby. We here.
Yeah, but we don't need to know it. We don't need to know.
I got my t-shirt.
In the theaters, your check engine
People
light
ask me
is
what's cracking. I say my back.
Hey, I got my over 40 and Phil and Foxy t-shirt.
I need one of the two.
But yeah, it's a solid movie. But yeah, that scene with Brendan Gleeson where that drops in his eye and he has just enough time to push his daughter away and say, "Get away from me." Like, that is just. I mean, people want to shit on horror movies a lot, especially from the critical side, right? But I don't know that there's any other genre that hits emotions the way horror does, because it's not as tense. It's not as intense. You're not dealing with life, and Forrest Gump wasn't dealing with life and death other than 10 minutes out of the movie when he's carried Bubba's ass out of the jungle, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, that kind of stuff kills me, and I absolutely I love that movie. I'd watch it right now.
Jeff, what other thoughts you got?
He's a great dude, but he ain't Forrest's daughter. You know what I mean?
Just a different tone. Just a different tone there.
It is different tone.
Yeah,
different tone.
For sure.
So I seen this in the theater when it came out, opening weekend. Loved this fucking movie. So for me, I liked it. Didn't like the follow up. Now, this is where I get to play my little thing and go. 28 years later, comes out in 2025. Danny Boyle is back in the director chair. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, and Cillian Murphy is returning back to the movie. So I had to get my news thing in there.
I see. Was this when was this announced? The 28 years later.
Ooh, I'd have to scroll back a little ways. Yes, you missed it. I announced it.
It has a Kick-Ass in it too. Aaron Taylor Johnson. So I'm pretty sure my wife will be like, "Let's go check this out."
And Ralph
Oh.
Fiennes, if you're a fan of the Scottish actor Ralph Fiennes, I think he's Scottish.
Unless he's Voldemort, I don't want to see it.
Ralph Fiennes,
Yeah, Ralph Fiennes.
the English
Yes.
patient guy?
Yes, that's him.
Now, he wasn't Voldemort, right? He was the brother.
No, he was Voldemort.
He's
Wasn't
Voldemort. Yeah.
Who was Ray Fiennes
Yeah.
then? Is that the Red Dragon dude?
I don't know.
I get them confused. Too many fines.
Just take the nose off my man, and he's out here.
Joseph
Got it.
Joseph Fiennes was on fuck. The what do you call it?
All right, Google, help me out here.
Fucking
There's too many
No.
fines.
BLAK. In the meantime, while we're looking at IMDb, what were your thoughts?
So I will admit this. I watched these movies in reverse, and I like 28 weeks later until I saw 28 days later. I was like,
You're like,
I mean, that's
oh,
it.
that movie
That
sucks.
checks
you're better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's what made me 28 weeks later is what made me watch 28 days later. And 28 days later is actually a better movie.
Red Dragon.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Joseph.
That's one of the cannibal.
The Hannibal
books.
Lecter joint.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a prequel. He
Yeah.
played Francis Dollarhide,
Yeah.
which was the,
So BLAK,
the serial killer.
BLAK, did it make a difference for you as far as like I'm not sure how like big of a zombie fan you are, but did that change it for you versus them being able to like fucking full on run at you versus the ones that are just kind of like and they just kind of go all slow and shit.
It does, and I'll say this about 28 days later. It reminded me the first time I watched it. It reminded me of one of my favorite zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead. It reminded me of that. Like there's very much that premise of Night of the Living Dead, but the zombies aren't like slow and peaceful. It's like that, but the threat of the zombie is way more extreme in 28 days later versus Night of the Living Dead.
I agree. And Eric Johnson said, so Robert Carlyle was one of my favorite actors in 28 Weeks Later. I like how he initially like he says he runs away from his wife and later he kills his wife. Like that's really hard to watch, I feel like, as like a couple, because when he was in his right mind, he was running away from his wife versus later on when that rage virus kind of takes on, he kind of like beats the upper loving brain of hers to pulp. So
I think that might depend on how long you've been married.
I knew you were going to say something like that. Damn you, Chris. Shut up.
Less than 5 years?
Something to think
Do we
about.
got kids?
Are they
It's
out
the
of
virus, babe. It's not me. It's the
If we had
virus.
kids, I'd have to save you because you got to help me with these kids. We ain't got no kids. Natural selection, babe.
Go for it. Has it been over 10 years?
Almost 2 decades. So yeah.
If the shoe was on the other foot, I'd want you to leave too, babe.
Oh, mine would have done shot me and been like, he turned. I swear to God, he turned.
Homicide or suicide. There's 2 ways
She'll
out.
shoot you and then she'll bite you to be like, look at the bite marks. He was going.
Look what happened.
Dude, yeah.
Didn't this movie
Nailed
like
it.
somebody had like a wound? Like they didn't even get bit. It was just like they got hit by. They had like a wound or something, and they just got hit in the wound. And they were like, "Well, fuck it, you got to go." Pow.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Bro, real quick.
It's that extreme. Yeah.
No, wait. Don't got time. Pop.
Ah.
No stars around me, bro.
So another zombie movie basically caused by a virus that was based on some really popular video games, Resident Evil. So
I was wondering when we were going to talk about the Capcom side.
came out in 2002 with Mila Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez starring amongst other people. I was a huge fan of the Resident Evil 5 video game. Just going to throw that out there. Yeah, can beat me up. I don't mind. I love playing that game. I will go back and play it
We
still.
will.
Yeah, you can. No problem.
That was the
Um,
not scary one.
yeah, I loved it. I thought it was super fun. I love. Well, my thing was is it was like a 2-person first person shooter is why I loved it so much because I could play it with my lovely husband. Um, anyhow, that I kind of like seeing. I know some of it really didn't follow the video games, but I did appreciate them bringing some horror to life. Because in the end, they're not always going to be, I guess, pure to the origins or the source material, as we all have been frustrated in the past. I'll just say that there's always
Mario
going to be that element. Yes, Henry Cavill feels our pain. Anyhow, going in reverse. Black, Resident Evil. What'd you think? The
You know
movies, any
what?
movie, any of the movies. There's like
You know
15
what?
of them. What'd you think?
I gave this movie I gave it too much credit for too long.
Oh, did you? Oh no.
Yeah. So
What happened?
so here's where I dropped off. And you know, Mac has like his Mackay Pfeiffers, Anthony Mackies. Mine is Boris Kojo. The instant he showed up in this series, I checked out.
You don't
I
like the
was
NBA?
I'm done.
My man jumped 10 feet in the air to grab the airplane to hold it onto the skyscraper.
I'm done.
You're snorting.
In slow
Cut the
motion.
show.
I just watched all these yesterday, so it's all fresh.
Oh
I don't know if you can
god.
see the death in my eyes, but it's there.
Oh my god.
Sorry, go ahead, Black. I
I
apologize.
was like, I'm willing to give this series a chance. And it's like, was it Extinction that he came up? He started off in this one. I was like, yeah, I'm done. That's it for me. Like
Yeah.
I've been with you through this whole debacle, not sticking to the video game. You just go off and do your own thing. But
Right.
that was the icing on the cake. Not only are you not doing that, you bring in Boris Kojo. Like I just can't. So I checked out.
Mentally checked out.
Yeah, I was done.
Like I'm done. Jeff.
This is one of those instances where I seen this one in theater.
Uh-huh.
Loved the first one. The second one from that point on was kind of like, all right, whatever. I will say this: the animated Resident Evil,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
top notch, world class, must see.
All of them.
All of them.
I you know what? I haven't given that one a chance. I need to.
It's like the
Watch
DC
the an-
movies where live action is in my opinion. The animated
And the
knocks it out of the
animated
park.
does follow the video game a little bit more so.
Okay.
Actually, it does follow the video game. It kind of fills in the blank spots
Yep.
between the games.
Mhm. Eric makes a good point. The Nemesis.
That was the
I feel
last
like
one, right?
No,
No,
was
that
like-
was
I think
He was
second.
the boss, I guess,
Oh,
in the
okay.
second game, but also in the
Yeah.
second movie.
The second movie,
yeah,
yeah.
third game,
Yeah.
second movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm.
I thought the Nemesis was done really well, and I liked the Nemesis. Okay, shut up, Willie. I see you laughing.
Yeah, see, Chris knows.
Okay, that was
Just running around with a fucking A10 Gatling gun, like just
What do we do? Fucking nothing. Just
Hold
run.
it.
Bitch. Just run.
Well, I liked him, and I liked the Lickers. The Lickers, I think, were because they always fucking terrified me in the games when
see
the
that.
Lickers would come around, and seeing them in the actual movies, like I thought they were equally as terrifying. Like I felt like I was like, oh god, I'm in the game again. They're gonna get me. Chris, what'd you think?
So I actually took the time out of my misspent life to watch this entire franchise yesterday. Because I found it on sale on Amazon for $27 for all 6 movies. And they should have been $10. And well, so all right, so here's the thing. If they had called this Project Alice as opposed to
Okay.
Resident Evil
Yes.
and changed the character names,
Okay.
this would have been an extremely enjoyable 6-movie franchise because
Okay.
it's really not bad. I mean, if you can take The Rock pushing a torpedo off course with his foot in Fast 7 or 13 or whatever the hell movie that was, you can accept Mila Jovovich making somebody's nose bleed with her mind.
With his foot?
Right?
That's impressive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. While
impressive.
hanging on the outside of a Humvee driving on ice with no chains, by the way. Just the level of stupid is
Fast 9, baby. Let's go.
like my camera doesn't go this high, but it was up there, right? They're enjoyable movies. Are they good movies? No,
Absolutely
during
not.
During the werewolf episode, I kept throwing out Wolf Cop, right? Wolf Cop is not
Yeah,
a good movie.
I know. I watched it.
It's not a good movie, but it is enjoyable as all hell. Like, it's just funny. The bathroom transformation scene, if you haven't seen that shit, watch it. You will never see anything like it. You have never seen anything like it, and you will hope to God you never see anything like it in the future. But it's worth the watch for that moment, right? Resident Evil, I look at the same way. It's an enjoyable 6-movie series, but it's not what Resident Evil should have been. The first 2 movies, they did a decent job. 3 through 6, they did a horrible job. It became, the director's platform for Mila Jovovich to get a paycheck. Same way Fifth Element was with Luc Besson. They were married from 97 to 98. That's why she got that role, right?
Right. I remember.
It was her. I enjoy the movies for what they are, as long as I can step away from my Resident Evil fandom, which is hard to do because I was in high school when those fucking Doberman Pinschers jumped through that window and made me piss myself the first time. So
I am there with you.
Yeah, I get it.
Not an enjoyable.
I mean,
experience.
They're fun, but they're not good.
Yeah, and I feel you because a lot of those video games kind of like speak to us because we all grew up playing those. Whatever age that may have been. So yeah, I mean, I agree. They kind of made Alice way more than what she was in the video game. So
she wasn't in the video games
at all.
Yeah,
that's the trick, right? Alice didn't exist. Jill Valentine did. Claire Redfield did. Alice was not. She was a purely movie-driven character, right? And as good a character as she is, and she's a very good character, she does not make a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
At all.
Willie, your take.
When there is a franchise that is super successful and there is already writers that have written several games and you're like, hey, I want to make a movie called Resident Evil. Capcom's just like, sweet, give us the money, we'll let you make one. And it's like, cool, here's the money. And then Capcom obviously is waiting for you to like hit them back up and be like, hey, who are the writers for the game? And you never get back in touch with Capcom, and all of a sudden there's a movie. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Apple, let me just say this. My wife, there's things that she puts up with me, sports, video games, things of that nature. She's just like, I love you because you love it. I love it because you love it. She loves the Resident Evil movie franchise, and I love her despite. You know what I'm saying? Babe, I love you so much. I can't overlook the fact that you keep dragging me to these ass movies because she hasn't played the game, so she doesn't fucking know.
Yeah,
she probably knows a little bit of the games, But I'm like, bro, I'm 10 toes down in Resident Evil, bro. One through like I got up to 7, and 7 was like when it get to that first person and that weird family shit. I was like, bro, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. When you start getting weird like that, I got to go. I'm looking for the zombies to kill, bro. But like 1 through 6, like you said, 5 and 6 are more adventure type. 4 is peak. 1 is OG, but I'm expecting to go sit down. Like I'm gonna be telling her what's gonna happen in the movie. This Alice chick comes up. I'm like, what the fuck's happening here? So Chris hit it on. Call it something else. Call it something that's happening in the Resident Evil universe. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do something
Right.
that's happening in the time period of Resident Evil.
Yep.
They did to what's the dude's name? Wesker? Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk.
Bro. Fuck it all up. Now, Paul W.S. Anderson. He hasn't been known to direct a lot of great movies. The two that I will give him props for, like I know it's corny now, but Mortal Kombat, the first one,
It's a classic.
bro.
I liked
talk
it.
about it.
It's a
I know. I'm
classic.
saying I like that
it.
one. That has
Yeah.
a piece. That's a piece of me. The Annihilation, horrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the other one I give him credit for is no. What's Event Horizon? He directed that, which
My favorite
Good
horror
one.
movie of all time.
cult classic. Like box office wise, did not do shit in the theater. It's not a movie you could just watch. Oh shit, Event Horizon. Like unless you're
No,
like
it's up
Chris,
there.
where you're just like that's my shit. You know,
It's up there. Yeah.
sci-fi horror. That is peak sci-fi horror. Space
Mhm.
horror, bro. It gets none better. But then you got like the rest of the Resident Evils where you're just like, I guess just tell whatever fucking story you want at this point with characters that I know. It's like the Halo TV show. Like you're
Oh,
using
God.
established characters that already have lore and stuff, and you're just fuck all that shit. We're gonna make them do this. It's hard for OG fans to get into it. So how it made 7 movies, I don't know. And then he ruined Monster Hunter as well, but that's another that's probably a
Did.
thing for another day. So the movies, Apple loves them. If you have never played the games, you can probably find some enjoyment in it. It's a lot of action, a lot of slow motion, a lot of visuals.
Yeah.
But if you played the game, it is tough to be like, man, these movies are awesome.
Yeah. I am along that same vein. I think we could probably have a show, many episodes where we could go into how they kind of rake the fans of the original stories and with just the title and the hope that maybe might be making something that would be of service to what we were fans of, and that's not at all what's delivered. And I mean, there's a lot of things that I enjoy that I'm a casual fan of, and then there's things that I'm very much a purist of and hardcore fan with. And I really do feel it when people are like, man, that shit pissed me off. That is nothing like the original. And I feel that because I'm like, I get it, because there's lots of things that they've fucking destroyed that I absolutely love. So yeah, again, that could actually be a whole series that we could do about that. At any
That's a
rate,
big soapbox for me to stand on, by the way.
it is. Like I get that. Like a very few times in my life where I can say that they actually did a TV show, a movie, or something that actually paid homage to the original source material. So
Sonic the Hedgehog.
on
that's
a
it.
yeah, shut up. On a lighter side of the zombie world, Zombieland. So came out in 2009 with Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Abigail Breslin, and Emma Stone starring. Man, my life in 2009. I went to the theaters and watched this, of course, with my dear sweet husband, and there were so many jokes. If memes and everything were a thing at that time, there would have been so many memes, but still, it's still a thing that I use in my everyday language today. Like Rule 1, cardio is part of my language of every day. Willie, what are your thoughts about Zombieland? Because I remember when this movie came out. I mean, it's still another one of those movies where I'm like, oh, Zombieland's on. Don't talk to me. I'm watching this.
I actually like Zombieland.
Love it.
It's Eisenberg, right? Jesse.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah.
Woody Harrelson. Yeah. So it's
Mhm.
I like it because it's a different spin on it. You know, a little bit more comedic.
Mhm.
Kind of you've been around zombies so long, it becomes daily life.
Right.
The week, or what was it? Kill of the week, like
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So I like that whole aspect. I think in that one, they actually even had a zombie Bill Murray in that one towards the end. So
Mhm.
it's up there.
In the
Like not all,
Ghostbusters costume.
Yeah.
yes. So not all zombie movies have to be dark, gloomy, scary. Like if I could just sit down and have a good time, zombies are involved. I'm here for it. The movie knew what it was, and I think that's why the movie knew
Yeah.
it was tongue in cheek. It was satire, playing on the zombie trope, and I was here for it. Now, if it was trying to be a serious zombie movie with all these things, probably be a different view. But knowing what they were coming out the gate, that was probably the biggest bonus for this movie. So it's up there for me, zombie wise.
Chris.
So along with Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, probably one of my favorite horror comedies ever.
Yeah.
Solid movie. The only thing that I have to hold against it is that it made Jesse Eisenberg act in more movies than he already was, which is a personal taste thing. I'm not a
boy,
Fair.
not a
Fair
fan.
enough.
He's
your
he's
Anthony
my
Mackie.
yeah, he's my Anthony Mackie.
He's the white
when I see
Anthony
him on a
Mackie.
poster, I'm like, ah, shit, Hamilton. But yeah, I love it. As somebody who is a massive Ghostbusters fan, seeing Bill Murray come back and put on the jumpsuit was
Yeah.
huge
Oh.
for me. I cannot understate how much I laughed my ass off
Yeah.
when that was happening. But solid movie, and it gave us Emma Stone. She had been in things prior, but that's really the project that kind of projected her to where she is now.
Mhm.
Pretty Things or whatever the hell the name of that movie was aside. I've
Mhm.
loved everything else she's been in. So really, I think solid flick, man. Funny as hell. Woody Harrelson is always good, especially when he's playing somebody a little unhinged, a la Natural Born Killers.
Mhm.
So yeah, damn solid movie. I loved it.
Jeff.
What's left to say about this one? It's solid as fuck. Just
Whatever
don't
you
watch
wanna
Double
say.
Tap. Don't watch Double Tap. That's what
You
I got
like
to say.
Double Tap?
Cherish the first one and love it greatly, because the second one was about as mid as it got.
Do we think you could have really done a sequel that would have done justice to the original Zombieland? Like
They
No.
just shouldn't have done it.
it's one of those things, like it makes that money. Like, do we blame Hollywood to be like, let's
No.
try again?
No, I don't
You
blame
can't
them for
blame them
trying.
for it, but
Yeah.
We give them props for not doing a trilogy.
now that you're talking about it, they're probably going to try, bro.
They might. They'll do
You never know.
what the hell?
If the third one comes out, the first person getting a message is Mac. I'm gonna be like, dude, it's your fault.
Apparently, I cursed what's his name to never be in movies again. Taylor Lautner.
Who's that?
Oh, we thank you for that. We thank you for it.
That's not a loss. You're
Who's that? He was in
fine.
Kidnapped, right? And then his career just nosedive.
Yeah, he tried the
or-
action movie thing, and then it was just like it
He
nosedived
was
hard.
the
Now
werewolf
he's
in
waiting on
Twilight.
Adam Sandler to write like Grown Ups 12 or whatever, so he can
Yeah,
get
so he could be
paychecks.
in that
or-
shit. So
Yeah.
he's still in movies. My man's still getting a check. I didn't ruin his life.
Mhm.
Hello. He just should have kept the shirt on, is all I'm saying. I would have had no problem.
Dude.
Got my
Well,
wife looking at
Bella,
Black.
where were you?
He set my standard too high.
my wife is here, bro.
Black.
Put a shirt.
We're not actually werewolves.
Black, what do you think? Black, we can't hear you. You're muted.
My bad.
Okay, there we go. You're
I'm
good.
gonna copy paste. It's really not gonna add to it that hasn't been added yet. I was gonna say it gave us Emma Stone, but Chris beat me to that one.
That's a good
But
point.
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. Love her.
it's a really funny movie. One of the first I've seen of the zombies that just was a lighthearted comedy. So other than
Right.
that, everything everybody else said just hit it on the head.
So what I will add to this, if you're into the zombie comedy like Zombieland,
Mhm.
Take a look at the Return of the Living Dead franchise from back in the 80s. It's the
Yeah.
same kind of deal. They are funny.
Definitely.
They are not good movies by any stretch. And if anybody comes at me saying, "Hey, you told me these were going to be good," I will deny it until I am in the ground. They are not good movies, but they are entertaining as all hell. And Eric, that Taylor Lautner can be in Zombieland 3 shit. You can take that and shove it right where you
Him and
don't,
Jesse,
you don't need
yeah.
to be in that. You don't
Those
need to be in that
Taylor-
because every woman in the world is going to want to double tap that, and none of us want to be involved.
I think they would settle like tapping it once.
We don't need that shit, Eric.
Same.
Well played. Well played.
Touche, my friend.
Well
But
played.
yeah, check out Return of the Living Dead. They are funny as hell. Right up there with Shaun of the Dead as far as humor goes. I enjoy
Oh.
the hell out of it.
I was gonna.
Ooh.
Speaking of,
Did I get
was that
ahead of you? I'm sorry.
yeah, no, you. Thank you for that nice slide
Perfect
into the next
segue.
movie.
Yes.
Segue,
Right?
That's what I provide.
Shaun of the Dead came out in 2004 with
Ooh.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. If you don't know who those people are, then you know what? You need to come out of the cave that you've been living in. I went to the theaters and watched this. Well, I was in WD school. I can say this as an affirmative because I remember watching it. I think we might have watched it twice. Can't quite remember. Absolutely love this movie. Had a perfect I would actually call this like a dark comedy horror. It had a perfect comedic tone to it. And then it also had a lot of gore, but not so much where I wanted to go and vomit in between like gory takes. But that was perfect. I think this is the very first time that I can recall ever seeing Simon Pegg in anything, and
Mhm.
it was perfect. His comedic timing was perfect. The back and forth that he had, which I suspect is his best friend in real life, Nick Frost.
Nick Frost, yeah.
Yeah, is absolutely hilarious. Love this movie. Black. What did you think about Shaun of the Dead?
I got this movie a lot later than I should have. I ended up watching this in like 2015 or something like that. But it just wasn't on my radar. But
Yeah.
knowing who Simon Pegg was, this movie is absolutely fucking hilarious. Hilarious. And it isn't like straight in your face, haha. It's subtle. And if you catch it at the right time, it's great. But love this movie. Absolutely love this movie. But you spoke on the gore. I don't think this movie was that gory. I think Zombieland might actually been more gory than this movie.
Well,
I'll take it. Yeah, some gore. Yeah, I get it.
It had enough. It had enough to get you there.
It was enough to I think to throw it into like the horror genre. Like it wasn't too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't too much. Like it was enough where I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely like a horror thing. Jeff, what'd you think?
This is I'm not quite as late as Black was getting to this movie, but I did see this after my first return back to the States when it finally hit like normal TV. So I got the edited version at first, and then I'm like, okay, I have to go dig this out of the either a DVD pile for $5 or find it on a streaming. Well, I can't even say streaming service.
I got it on 04, bro.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
DVD from Netflix.
I think that's actually how I did end up watching it. Is we were renting a movie, and I was like, "Ooh, I watched this the other day, but I'm sure it's better because if it's got all the good shit in it," and it did not miss. So I probably seen this movie in like 07. So yeah, dude, this is one of those. If it's on TV or if I'm strolling and I see Shaun of the Dead, I'm stopping and you just lost me for however much time is left in this movie.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I agree. Chris?
So I came to this one late too. I hadn't been a big fan of British comedies since Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's like ancient. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Way
Calm down, Jen. Don't
way back. Way
don't do
Chris.
like in before times.
It's like Stonehenge. Oh my god.
It was a while ago. Like druids were still a thing outside of D&D
It's so ancient.
when I was in a British comedy. So yeah, so I came to this one late. We lost Jen. I think I might have broke her.
No, she's still in shock.
So I came to this one late.
Okay.
But I enjoyed the hell out of it. The funniest scene to me is actually one that, I mean, modern movie marketing pisses me off.
Yeah.
But the scene where they're picking out records to throw to kill the zombie.
Yeah.
Still my favorite scene in that movie, where they're like, ABBA, no, keep that one. Fucking Toto, throw it. All right, cool. And I absolutely loved it. And as a gateway drug into Simon Pegg's like filmography, getting into
Good start.
Buzz, and then leaping from that into what was it, Tavern at the End of the World, and then seeing him in Star Trek.
Yeah.
And it led down this rabbit hole.
Hot Fuzz was after this.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Was it after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hot Fuzz is considered the sequel.
no kidding. I thought Hot
Yeah.
Fuzz was the first one.
Mm-mm.
But,
Hot
yeah, I
Fuzz
mean,
is-
it's a great movie.
to
Yeah,
him now
yeah.
being in The Boys.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
He's dead now in The Boys, but he wasn't up until the end of season 4.
Yeah.
I spoiled it
Yeah.
all a while ago. That was like 2 episodes ago on USDN.
Yeah. Spoiler: him teleporting into the middle of that dude's body in the bed was hilarious as shit.
Oh my god.
How did I get here?
Oh God, it was so good. But seriously, that movie gave me a level of respect for Simon Pegg and Frost that I didn't have before. So it gets a lot of credit for leading me to other things that I enjoy. That being said, as a standalone zombie movie, I think it's solid. It ranks up there with Zombieland as far as horror comedy goes.
Willie.
Nice.
So pretty much, I think everybody's on the same page when it comes to how great this movie is. Coming right off talking about Zombieland, the comedy, the practical effects of this one as well. I think them having the low budget that they had before Simon became what he is and everything, I think led to that. But we talked about who was in it. Let me talk about the director, Edgar Wright, who to me has very few misses when it comes to him directing movies. My man did Shaun of the Dead, obviously Hot Fuzz, right? Probably one of my favorite movies of all time, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes.
Directed the hell out of it. Another, he directed Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Another favorite movie of mine, Baby Driver, which I thought was amazing as well.
That's an underrated.
Actually,
movie.
was
That's
very
an
underrated.
Yep, I'm trying to tell people, man. I'm trying to tell people. He also directed from what some people are telling me, back in like 2020, like it was a Last Night in Soho, some kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah,
suspenseful kind of. I haven't seen that, but people are telling me go check that one out.
That's
and
worth a
here I am
watch.
later, where I'm just like,
After Wolf Cop.
After Wolf Cop, I'll check that out. Cleanse my palate. But he also starred in it, so I mean, it's awesome to see. I love it when Hollywood has these small, I don't want to say cliques, but like groups that they just mesh well. Like you get these guys together, it's about to be a good time. So Simon, Nick, and Edgar, when they get together, like if you're saying Simon and Nick are in a movie directed by Edgar, I'm in line, bro. I'm in line. So it's just awesome to see. Shaun of the Dead is amazing. I know there's been rumors about a sequel or whatever. I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they're just going to do an anniversary release or something, which I think they already did this year, 20th release or something like that, like a special
20 years.
But this movie, if I'm clicking channels or looking at the guide and it's just like Shaun of the Dead, first I'm gonna see how much time is left in it, and if it's within the first 30 minutes or so, I'm watching it. I'm clicking the button.
Yeah,
I'm watching
agreed. So, Willie, I have a question for you. So,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody else is here or anybody else here is a huge fan, but I know I grew up watching Star Trek. And I know Willie grew up watching Star Trek, much as I was from the very first ones with William Shatner and then on with the Next Generation and so on. Scotty, when they cast Simon Pegg as Scotty, I was super excited. And I don't know how you felt. I want to know how you feel. But him playing Scotty was perfect. I loved it. Like he was just not,
There's so many lines that Scotty had in the original one that
Yeah.
have been turned into memes. You know,
yeah.
I'm not a doctor. You know, when I'm just like, bro, Simon, you gotta deliver one of those lines for me. You know, and he did not disappoint, Simon Pegg. I think, you know, I like Chris was saying, I think his range is out there because he was also in Mission Impossible, right?
yeah.
One of the Mission
Yes, he
Impossible.
was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm just
And
like,
a
bro,
great
like,
part of Mission Impossible.
Yes, he
yes.
was.
So I'm
Mhm.
just
Yes, he
like,
was.
Mhm.
whatever movie he was in, I'm just like, I'm here for it because one, like he has the capability to being playing serious roles to an extent and
Mhm.
then being the comedic relief, like
Yep.
handling
Mhm.
like scary and threatening situations with humor, which I feel I would do too, because I'm just like, fuck, man, I don't know what else to do but to like try to make this lighter than what it is. So I feel it's like a
Right.
realistic humor when he brings that up in most of his roles. But when they
Yeah.
were just like, Simon Pegg's gonna be Scotty, I'm just like, at that point, who else would they have kept? Ricky Gervais? You know,
Ugh.
like,
Mm.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Come on, dude.
Right.
Get out of here, bro. Put Simon in
How
there.
dare you?
I think Simon Pegg is such a good actor. My favorite role of his is Ready Player One when he was in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought he
Good one.
made
Yeah.
that movie. Just
Yeah.
how he was able to
That's a
just
good point.
blend
Mhm.
in, and he's guiding the game, but nobody else really knows that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And it's
Right.
like, damn, that's fucking genius. At the end
Yeah.
of it, it's like it's genius. You knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
I think he gets
Um,
overlooked a lot because of the fact that he's been in comedies more than he has anything else.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I mean, if you
Well,
look at The Boys, most of his stuff is very dramatic, and he kills it
yeah.
every time.
And I think he's one of those actors that, when they cast him, you almost have to consider the fact, like, is he going to outshine your main protagonist? Because
Mm-hmm.
he has such the not just the comedic presence, but has such a big presence on screen, period. I think. Like he just like when he comes on, like I feel like he dominates the tone of things. And
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of Simon Pegg. He's amazing. So last movie, I'm not sure. I picked a very obscure movie. I don't know if you saw some of the hints that my sweet husband Eric was dropping in there. It's a little known movie if you haven't seen it. It's called Zombies. Um, no? This
think so. Hang
movie,
I
on.
have not.
so it came out in 2007. Let's see where it's at. So it's on Tubi and Amazon Prime
Of course, it's
Video
on
to
Tubi.
yeah, to rent or buy.
They'll stream
So
a good
this
shit when they have the chance, don't they?
right.
To be
Sorry, I
Amazon,
apologize. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to
you
crap
give
on your
Amazon Prime $5, they'll be like, hey, you can stream your shit on our.
There you go.
movie.
This movie is very low budget. Let me just put it that way. This is pure comedy. So the funniest thing I feel like with this movie is that when you get the unique perspective of the zombies, so when the zombies are trying to interact with normal people who don't have the virus, it's almost like they're in like super fast forward.
Mhm.
So when they're trying to talk to a person that doesn't have the zombie virus, they're like, they're like, I don't understand what they're saying. Like I don't get it. But when you see the perspective from the person who doesn't have the virus, the zombies are very slow. They're like, "Burn veins." And it just seeing the two perspectives from the whole movie is absolutely hilarious.
So is this movie Oz Zombies? Because I looked it up and it's just like it's called Wasting Away.
So it's
So
3
it-
A's.
So
That's what I
A,
got.
yeah, so AAAH zombies. So
Yep.
if you look on IMDb, is AAAH zombies.
Well, yeah, it's that, but the cover art,
It's
I don't know,
green.
maybe it was like in no, it says Oz Zombies, but then the
Yeah.
cover art looks like the same Wasted Away, but it's playing the same
Sure.
trailer that you're talking about.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're seeing a different.
Maybe that was like the
Oh,
Yeah,
overseas
me,
thing.
I'm seeing the
called
same
Wasted
thing he
Away,
is.
It could be.
but it's all good.
Um,
Starring
Yeah,
Jenna Robinson.
it's got like
and-
a
yeah.
titles.
yeah, same thing.
So they have a little bit of like a love story in there and everything. And so anyways, hilarious movie, is purely comedy. I mean, there's some parts that might be a little horror for some people that have a very weak stomach, like, you know, eating something remotely spicy makes them want to vomit. But
so white
it's
people is what you're saying. I get it.
yeah, basically.
It's fine.
Where?
a
It's fine. I
hilarious
get it.
movie.
I'm not
Yeah.
offended.
So hey, I'm there. I'm there with you. It's okay. So if you
I
guys
eat
are bored,
spicy. Don't put me in that boat.
I'm glad Willie knows me. Otherwise, people would be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
it
I
is
don't like
a
this asshole.
funny movie to check out. I don't know if it's kid appropriate. So if you have children, I don't know if I'd watch it. But
Fuck
you
them
know,
kids.
I'm
on
just-
Rotten Tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? 55% Rotten Tomatoes, 5.7
not bad.
IMDb. It's
Mhm.
not bad.
That's
I
not
mean,
bad at
definitely
all.
don't expect anything like miraculous. You know, it's definitely like low budget, low everything. It's basically there to make you laugh. It's like the whole movie is like a dad joke. You know, it's just there for funs.
My type of flick.
All right. I'm gonna wrap this up.
So we're really gonna wrap this up without talking about warm bodies, or
That's what I was about to
Oh,
ask.
God,
We
I
started
don't
talking about- we started talking about zombie love stories, and I was like, "Where are we going with this?"
You know,
We're still live, so I don't know what you're talking about wrapping it up.
you know what?
Jen
when,
pulling the trigger early here.
Hey, you know what? We're at an hour and a half, and I was
Like
like,
a
oh
virgin
man,
on
I
prom
really
night.
wanted to.
Let's
There's so many other
wrap this
movies
up.
I wanted to talk about. All right, go. Just kidding. You want to talk about warm bodies, Willie? Go ahead.
I like. Was this based on
I
a
love
book?
that movie.
Do you?
I do. I love that movie. It's so funny.
About it.
It's so
Talk
cute.
to us about it. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 81. You know what I'm
Which
saying?
is
Which
low.
is-
My opinion.
But we're also
No
talking about
shit.
Rotten Tomatoes, dude.
I mean,
Rotten
they're more
Tomatoes.
legit
Some of
than
it's
IGN.
accurate. They're
I believe
accurate
it more than the
sometimes.
fucking critics. Damn.
Yeah.
Ooh, let
Willie.
me see what the critics say. Talk to me about warm bodies. I need a true fan to talk to me about this, because I think the people that tell me about this movie are the guys who didn't give it a chance, and just because of the premise, they're just like, love story zombies. It's like Twilight with zombies. Gross. You know, don't watch it. It's stupid.
I don't think it's like
73%
Twilight. Okay.
popcorn meters, 81% tomato meter.
So I got 4 dudes with me. Why is every love story that has any sort of like horror, sci-fi sort of element to it have to be compared to Twilight? Why is
Because that was the most
That was the biggest.
popular
Yes.
horror romance series in history.
Horror.
But
It's
was
the
it
same-
horror?
Just
Right.
because
Not
the
Horror,
character.
really.
right? It's got
Or where-
vampires in it, so
Yeah.
it's scary.
Vampire, werewolf, horror.
Yeah, it's the same reason why everything that has elves in it now is going to be compared to damn A Court of whatever the fuck that book is called.
Thorns and
You know what I'm talking
Roses.
about. That's it, right there, right there. Elves ain't just for fucking.
I'm
That's all
kind of a
saying.
fan.
That's fine. That's fine. There were fans of 50 Shades of Grey, and now you're a fan of 50 Shades of Fae. It's fine. You do what
I
you
love
need to.
it.
You do what you need to do to get on with your life.
I like my smut.
But
Man, I
bottom
like
line,
50 Shades of Grey.
Twilight is by far the most popular vampire series that we've had since ever. I mean, I think it even topped Interview with a Vampire, right? So anytime somebody talks about horror romance, they're going to go back to that base idea. So that's why everybody wants to compare everything to that. And we haven't gotten a scary vampire since Salem's Lot.
Ooh, which just come out.
What are you talking about, Abigail?
No. Salem's Lot.
Abigail's
Oh yeah, the remake was outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, before
And then we got
that,
Nosferatu dropping December 23rd.
which is that looks good. I am very, very interested in that.
So here's my take on Warm Bodies. So
Okay.
I hear what you're saying about the whole like romance part of it, but I like the characters in it. I like the fact that there's the zombie element has a horror element to it, and the whole reason like he comes back to life is because he falls in love with this girl. So a part of me feels like this is trying to appeal to the female audience. The very please don't be offended, anybody watching this. The basic female audience who wants that kind of romance in like their shows. Are you clutching your
Holla what
pearl,
it is, Jen.
Chris?
Holla what it is.
I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what it is. You have your basic female audience that wants that romance kind of thing. Like, oh, he came back human because he loves me and he's not a zombie
the
anymore.
zombie out of them.
I
want to
I hear her now.
I wish the
fix
zombie would
him.
come
I can
save
fix
me.
him.
That's exactly right.
You know what?
I can fix you.
That's a smart move on the movie makers because that's what attracted women to the movies.
Yep.
I'm not saying it didn't turn me off
agree.
at all. I like that element. I got the warm fuzzies from it. I'm not going to lie. I also like the zombie part of it because the zombie part of it could be, very gory at times, which I appreciated. I like that part too. So, the horror spooky chick in me appreciated that and the warm fuzzy side. So I like both parts of it. So my light and dark kind of came together in this movie. So
Are we going to leave out iZombie?
What is that, man?
So that
That's
was a series where
that?
correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but if I remember right, that was a police detective that ended up being a zombie, correct?
She was a forensic student.
It was like, so if you remember Forever Night from the 90s,
yeah,
where you had a vampire as a detective working night shift. iZombie was the zombie version of that.
She was
a TV show?
Yeah, it's a TV
basically.
series.
Oh.
And so basically, I want to say she was a medical student or she was a doctor or something, but she is bitten and she's starting to become a zombie, but she somehow isn't like turning very fast. But what is happening is she's eating like pieces of the brains from the people who are coming into the morgue because she now works in the morgue as an embalmer. And she's using that evidence that she's collecting from the brains. Like she gets their memory of what happened to them. So she's kind of solving these mysteries. And she's not eating bad people. She's eating people that are already dead. Or she's helping the cop, the detective, by eating the killer or whatever. I think in one episode. But it's actually really good. Like it was surprisingly good.
It was good. It's like Dexter. Dexter was a zombie.
Yes. Dude, that exactly.
I
want to say it's Max, if I ain't mistaken, on iZombie.
Oh, is it on Max now?
I think you're right.
I think so.
Yeah. It's a solid show. It was good.
That's all I got, though. I was just like, we can't end without talking Warm Zombies.
No,
Warm Bodies. I like
we
that
should
show.
also throw an honorable mention out there to the best friend in American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Seth Green in Idle Hands.
Bro. Yes.
How do we forget Seth Green in Idle Hands? I mean, it's just
yes.
100%, you know.
And
I
I'll
watched
throw
that-
one more out there because it is my favorite, quote unquote, modern zombie movie, Mayhem, with Glenn from The Walking Dead, is the most
Mayhem?
fun I have had in an hour and a
I'm
half.
surprised we didn't bring up The Walking Dead as big as it.
The Walking Dead is the same shit that we've seen since Night of the Living Dead, but you're focused on the survivors and not the zombies.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Here was
It's
my
Dawn of the Dead
problem.
on a greater scale. It's been done.
Here was my problem with The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Within the comic book, we got different story arcs that broke out from the beginning.
Yes.
Like you get your first main story arc, and then it branches.
Mm.
In the TV show, what it tried to do is dip its fingers and hands into these different storyline branches of the main series. Now, this in the beginning, it looked like they were going down Old Man Carl, which to me, hands down, fucking perfect storyline within the Walking Dead comic book franchise.
Absolutely.
It's basically Old Man Carl with his eye patch and his dad's hat telling the story of the Walking Dead.
Yep.
Very wonderfully done. But then they go, nah, we're going to just fucking kill Carl. Fuck Carl. And we're going to start telling this story over here, which is not very good. And that's what we got. They were trying to dip their hands.
Though.
Without a doubt. But in the comic book, not so much. They did him wrong in the TV show.
Where's Carl?
Carl. No.
Sorry.
Oh, God, Carl.
That was my last few cents since he brought up The Walking Dead.
No, Carl.
I didn't bring up The Walking Dead.
No.
Chris did. I had to.
I know. I'm saying I didn't bring it up because it's been dead to me since they killed Carl off. So
Season
once they
4,
started so
Jen's a
far.
Carl person.
It's been beat worse by the fan base than Negan could ever do.
And they keep, bro, these spinoffs they keep throwing out there, like it's not. I don't know who it's for. Like I was the biggest Daryl. I was the biggest Daryl simp for the longest, but after a while, I'm just like, all right, man. Like, what's the deal with this dude? Is he just fucking superhuman at this point? Like,
once Carl died, I stopped watching. It was a great show up until that point.
Yeah.
Me
Once
too.
they
You know
realized
what?
they were going to kill him and not go down that arc, I was done.
Yeah.
I divorced the show and moved on.
Me too.
I like games better anyway.
Yeah.
You like who?
The Telltale games that they made for Walking
Oh,
Dead.
Those shits go hard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. They do go hard.
No, I cried
That's
at
a whole
some
another
point.
episode, though.
Yeah.
We could talk about that for hours.
Cool. But
we talk about family relationships and shit. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jen. I apologize. We
Don't want to
completely
hijack
derailed your episode.
No, you're fine. No, you're
Well, I
you're
know
not
that.
saying anything that I don't feel. I mean, I quit watching The Walking Dead after they killed Carl off and they started going in a different direction. And I just I got over my feelings after Glenn died because that was a huge heartbreak. Again, I know that was part of the comic, but I just
Just look at the flowers. It'll be okay.
yeah,
When
I
y'all
looked
start
at the
having
flowers
Negan
and I
being a
turned the
good
TV
guy,
off.
that you lost me.
How many
I know,
people did not
yeah.
know that that was an Advice of Men reference?
What's that? Just look at the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gets it when I say it at work. They're like, "Oh, today sucks." I'm like, "Just look at the flowers."
You should
And
find
they're like,
another
"What?" I'm like,
You monster.
If they only
"I
knew.
don't get it though." It's a
They're not human.
I said that in front of a captain I work with. He looked back. He's like, "Damn, dude, that's dark." I was like, "You get my reference?"
But it's
At
He's
least they
like,
get
"Well,
you.
yeah, I get your reference." I'm like, "We
No.
just
get
became
shocked
best
when somebody
friends."
picks up
I'm
what you're
like-
putting down.
You work
Look
with
at
the
the-
government. You should be
know
saying
that-
that at least twice daily.
Dude, if not more.
I don't work with any nerds, so they don't get me. So
You got to convert them, Jen.
Yeah.
I know.
true.
I'm trying. I'm
One
trying.
person at a
It's
time.
hard.
Birds.
I'm trying.
Sorry, I'm done. I'll behave.
Sure.
It's a lie. I made that up.
All right.
We knew.
So
We knew.
Right. I'm a zombie doubt.
thank you everyone for tapping in tonight. And I thank you, Willie and Chris, Jeff, and BLAK. Thank you so much for joining me on this All Hallows Eve Zombies edition. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Our next Hallows Eve will be announced soon. Hopefully, we'll be talking about some boogeymen. If you don't know what that is, well, you'll find out when you watch the show. I do want to give a loud shout out to BLAK's significant other. I am wearing one of Khan's custom creations.
Oh,
What is-
Night
Hold on.
Air full penetration. If you don't know what that is,
What?
you're missing out.
So that's not just the tip.
No.
Oh no, that's
no.
the whole
Going all in.
torpedo, baby.
All
The whole
in.
thing. Got it. I like it.
Going all in. All in.
I like
All
it.
in. All right.
Game night is crazy.
Game night is.
We be wildin', man.
Yeah, you're missing out on game nights. If you guys don't tune
Yes.
into the DFPN family game nights, you are missing out on the craziness because Khan will make some shit. I still love my butt mug. My butt mug's the best. Love
Yeah,
the butt
I don't think I've ever heard those words used together.
Too much.
I'll show you, Chris. I'll send you pictures.
I'm married. You better be careful with that shit.
I know your wife.
Send it
It's
to my
cool.
wife. Send
I'll
it
send
to
it to
Amanda,
your
and
wife.
if she's
No
okay
worries.
with it, she'll show
Pictures
it.
of this butt stuff. He's like,
Because I don't
No,
want
it's
to.
like,
Game
what?
night is all about butt
Oh,
stuff.
I didn't realize
Get in
how
there,
awkward
it's
that
really butt
was.
stuff.
Amanda, I'll send you pictures. Sorry.
Yeah, do that.
Anyways,
Let's be safe with it. I don't need to be murdered
Just post it
or
on the Queen's
suicided
group.
in the middle of the night.
absolutely. All right, my friends. So until then, stay spooky and keep your crown straight.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night. Can we find my outro? Good night.